is a big day here at the Big Four Podcast. We release our first college basketball podcast of the season. Unfortunately, Luke and Alex cannot be on today.
Oh, the hockey podcast will be tomorrow.
Yes. We have brought in a couple guests here. We have Heath and Max, who have been on before. Just want to highlight Heath predicted, as well as, and I predicted this too, Illinois would be a great football team last time he was on. So great prediction by expect some more great analysis today from him and Max as well.
I'd hope so. They're on one of the best podcasts out there. They better bring some good insight.
That's right. That's a very good point. Okay. So we're going to start with looking at some expectations for the Michigan State Spartans. Taking into account that Josh Langford is out until at least January, what are your expectations for Michigan State? We'll start with Heath.
Well, Chris, honestly, I'm seeing that Michigan State, they're going to be one of the better teams in the Big Ten. I think they could go on the field for a while and be like a Indiana of yesteryear. They're going to be a one seed. And I see them honestly winning the Big Ten over Michigan in a rout in the Big Ten championship.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
I don't think Michigan's going to make the Big Ten tournament this year.
Make the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah.
Max?
Well, I know they lost the top 5 player in the country, Nick Ward. So I think that they're going to, regress a little bit in that regard. Cassius Winston, decent. They lost one of the best white players in the country, Matt McQuaid, as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they do.
All right.
I think they could be pretty good. I don't know how good we can be. But the one thing you got to beat Oakland. That's one of the biggest games of the year. It's on the road this year. That's going to be a tough game. They always play us tough.
Oh yeah.
I think they'll have a shot to win the Big Ten. It could go Illinois. I like Illinois also. I like Minnesota. Very good team.
All right.
No. The expectations are high, but I'm worried a little bit about the experience level of this team. Besides our starting 5, it's a little lacking, especially with this injury. It doesn't help. Questions about the big man as well. You got Tillman, and who's his backup? His backup's 6'10". We have no real big men, so a 7-footer could really give us troubles. Not a 7-footer like Teskey, who has no post moves, but an actual 7-footer.
What are you talking? Listen, Mike. Teskey was on Center of the Year watch list.
Chris, we literally put Gabe Brown on him, and he couldn't score on him in the post.
Teskey is an animal.
He's one of the worst post players I've ever seen.
No, that's not true.
Anyways, losing a glue player like Matt McQuaid and Kenny Goins, how do we replace those guys? They did so many little things that helped us win games last year. The ceiling for this team is much higher than last year, but will they gel and with all the players that are going to need playing time this year? Will there be a Celtics type collapse with all the talent on this team? People complaining about getting minutes. I don't think that'll happen because we have Winston and a lot better leader than Kyrie. So hopefully we win a lot of games.
Michigan State is the best team in the country, but a lot of people talk about them like they're so much better than everybody else, and I don't see it that way. They lost 3 of their most important players from last year, McQuaid, Goins, and Nick Ward. They lose 3 of their most important
You're the
players.
one who said Nick Ward sucked. I don't know what you're talking about.
He does. He's terrible.
Oh, but he's one of our best players?
He is one of their most important players. That just proves how bad Michigan State was last year.
That's why when he went out last year, we got better.
Langford going out obviously doesn't help them, even though he doesn't show up in big games. So,
Chris, what are you talking about? Against Oakland, he dropped 25 last year.
Okay. Cassius Winston is obviously one of the better leaders in the country. That'll help. Tillman's a great player. But I don't know. This team is the best team in the country, but they're not that much better than everybody else. And with that said, there are no excuses for Michigan State. If they don't win the national championship this year, that's embarrassing.
No, I just hope we win. I just hope we win a couple games, have a good season, have a fun season, be a likable team. Don't be like the Celtics last year.
That'll be enough for this subject. Let's move on. Expectations for Ohio State. Pete.
So honestly, Ohio State is just not a basketball school. Honestly, I'm just having trouble.
Thank you.
For the year. Honestly, I think they're going to be a middle of the pack Big Ten team. They're honestly overrated in the AP poll. And that Ohio State bias is just showing by the Associated Press. Same thing in football.
That's a great take.
But honestly, middle of the pack, they'll maybe get 10 seed in March Madness if they're good.
I agree.
They'll have some trouble with some great teams like Cleveland State.
Yeah, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who they have scheduled again.
I'm sure they will struggle with Cleveland State. They always do.
Zach?
I do not know a single player on Ohio State's roster. They always seem like a 10 or 11 team in March when I always fill out my bracket. So I guess, I don't know, I think they'll probably do that again because I don't know anyone on that team.
All right, thank you for that. Mike?
Oh, Ohio State's going to be very, very good this year. They'll be top 5 in the Big Ten. Last year was a little bit of a rough season. They struggled to score the basketball, but they didn't really have any scores. This year, they bring back the 2 best players in the Big Ten, Caleb Wesson and Andre Wesson. And they have a couple of guys that they're bringing in. Recruiting-wise, they got DJ Carton, EJ Liddell, and the other guy they got, Gaffney. And they did lose Keyshawn Woods, who was one of their best players. That should be interesting to see how they replace him. CJ Jackson, good player. 4 years, great 4 years there. Listen, they have one of the best coaches in the country, X's and O's wise, and he's recruiting that state pretty well. He reminds me of Ryan Day. I think he'll turn Ohio State into a powerhouse in a couple of years. This year, I think they'll do very well. I think they should get to the Sweet 16, maybe Elite 8, and possibly a Final Four if they get the right schedule and the right tournament or whatever bracket, the good bracket. Maybe they can make it. But I'm expecting 30 wins. Maybe it's possible with this group. They're very talented. Last year they weren't talented. This year they are, and they should beat Michigan easily.
Okay, so I just saw that they're ranked 18th right now in the preseason ranking. So I'd like to retract my take.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with Heath here. I don't really see it with Ohio State. They bring in some recruits, but it's not all, unless you're at Duke or North Carolina or whatever. The freshmen usually don't have a huge impact on teams in the Big Ten.
Really?
You lose a glue guy, unless you're Michigan State and you get all the recruits.
No? What about Joe Wieskamp?
You lose a glue guy in C.J. Jackson, who I think was was their second best player last year behind Weston. And I don't see Ohio State. Your returning guys. Oh yeah, the return guys from last year. Yeah, they barely made the tournament last year. I don't see it with this team. They might be a little bit better than last year, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they missed the tournament. I really don't see it with this team. I think Michigan's much better than this team. I'm really low on Ohio State this year. All right, let's move on. All right, expectations for Michigan, taking into account that Franz Wagner will be out 4 to 6 weeks. He was a projected starter. Not going to start now, obviously, until he comes back. Expectations for Michigan. Pete.
honestly, Michigan is just it's gonna be bad this year. I mean,
Oh, are they?
look at this. They're not even ranked in the AP poll.
Well, they're ranked in the Big Four poll, so.
Honestly, this is little brother all year in Michigan State.
No,
Maybe even Ohio State.
no, definitely not Ohio State. No.
Honestly, who's on that team? Like, Tom Beeline had the ability to off-coach bad players. They're just players. Like Mohamed Peter Akbar. Where's he now? He plays like Canton Charge. He's looking like a starter at Michigan. He's able to John Beeline's departure. Michigan's got nothing. They're going to be in basement for a few years.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Juwan Howard is already on the recruiting trail getting 5-star guys.
Well, like 25-star guys.
That's because he slept
All right,
with.
Max.
He probably slept with them. That's why.
Okay, Max, what's your take here?
I think that Michigan's success relies solely on the amount of hook shots David Simpson takes per game. So if he takes about probably 4 or 5 a game, they got a chance to win at least. So I think him, and I expect a big year out of Isaiah Livers, who I helped go up for at the Crisis Center. No big deal. I don't know anybody else because everybody else left, like Razadakis, which is very confusing to me. I don't know why he is out there in the NBA. Should have waited a year or so, but that's my take.
Mike?
Okay, I'm looking at their roster, and they return a combined like 18 or 19 points per game. So they might score just over that per game, maybe 20 or 21. I don't know how they're going to score. I mean, they're going to be a good defensive team. They'll definitely be a top 3 or 4 team in the Big Ten, but they're going to win like 35-31 because they can't score. You're trying to tell me Xavier Simpson's going to score the basketball? He hasn't scored it the past 3 years. Good luck trying to.
Those hook shots are lethal.
Well, maybe he should spend more time on an actual jump shot than those stupid hook shots. Maybe he'd actually be a decent player. I don't know what to think about this. I got this Wagner guy. His brother was pretty good, but I don't know about him. We'll see what happens. Livers is your best player. He's good, solid, good shooter. And this guy from East Lansing, Brandon Johns, he was so good we didn't even recruit him. So, yeah, really talented roster, Michigan. Their coach hasn't proven anything. He's never coached a game in his life. So I'm expecting very poorly coached team. Maybe a 4 or 5 seed and a Sweet 16. But they might get upset in the first round just because the coaching's that bad.
Well, Juwan Howard, I don't really think you can make a judgment on him until you see him coach here.
No, I can make a judgment on him never coaching a game in his life. Yeah.
No, we'll see what happens with him. I think
honestly, this is the same athletic department that hired Jim Harbaugh.
The Franz Wagner injury. Good thing it's only 4 to 6 weeks. When he comes back, he's going to be a big time player. Scorer for this team. Probably will be the second leading scorer in this on this team.
He hasn't proven anything.
Isaiah Livers is going to lead this team in scoring. I really like him as a player. Has been a great offensive player since his freshman year when he was a big part on that Final Four team.
Oh, living in the past, Michigan fan, of course.
Xavier Simpson needs to develop a jump shot if this team's going to have a lot of success. If he can develop a decent jump shot, this team is going to be really, really hard to beat. And I'm looking at a guy like Eli Brooks. I think he's going to have a breakout year. He's always been a great shooner.
Oh, yeah, of course. Eli Brooks.
He's not going to be handling the ball that much because Simpson's going to have the ball. He's going to have a lot of opportunities for open shots. I'm going to like what Eli Brooks brings to the table. And obviously, you got Teskey really solid in the middle. And, off the bench, they're going to need to find a contribution somewhere. Colin Castleton he played well for a couple games last year. Maybe it's him. Cole Bahama, their freshman recruit.
Who?
Maybe it's him. Or maybe Brandon Johns. Maybe it's Brandon Johns.
You just say Cole
I don't
Bahama?
Bahama.
Is he from the Bahamas?
No. But they're gonna find something off the bench. The bench concerns me a little bit. But this is a solid team. This is a top 25 caliber team.
Shame on you. Shame on you, Chris, because all Michigan fans are so disrespectful to the job that John Beilein did at Michigan. And now they're expecting some guy who's never coached a game in his life to continue what John Beilein's done. That's absolutely ridiculous.
No, I'm not saying he's going to continue what John Beilein did.
You said they're a top 25 team.
If John Beilein was at Michigan, they'd be a top 15 team.
No, John Beilein knew this team was crap, and that's why he left.
John Beilein has done a lot for the University of Michigan basketball program. But, he made a decision. That's fine.
He made a decision. He made a decision because his team was trash. He's like, I don't want to deal with this, and that's why he left.
All right, that's enough. Let's move on. Yeah, each of the Power 6 conferences here. We're gonna make our predictions. Who's gonna win each conference? We'll start with the Pac-12. Who will win the Pac-12?
Honestly, the Pac-12 up just like every year. The Pac-12 up for grabs. It could be anyone. It could be UCLA. It could be Oregon, Washington, Stanford, anyone. Arizona even. This Pac-12 up for grabs. Honestly.
Stanford, really? You want to throw Oregon State in there?
Oregon State also. They might be a team.
Okay, fair enough. Good team. You gonna make a prediction?
Maybe? Honestly, I don't have to go with Oregon State. They're that team.
Oregon State. No, that's a great pick. That's a great pick. Okay. Zach?
To be honest, I don't know much about the Pac-12 in basketball. I think UCLA would be pretty good, right? I have no idea. Do you have a good roster? I have no clue. I'll go with I'll just go based off of last year's standings and say Washington.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, nobody knows shit about any of these teams. Like, I can't tell you who's going to be good and who's going to suck, especially in the Pac-12. If I'm going by returning production, I got to go with Colorado. But Oregon does get the Rutgers transfer, so I got to take Oregon.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Oregon as well. They returned Peyton Pritchard, who's probably the best player in that conference.
Oh, wait, they have Peyton Pritchard. I'm switching my pick to Colorado. He sucks.
Oh, okay. Dana Altman has a lot of coaching experience in big games. I expect Oregon to get the job done this year and win that conference. They don't choke in basketball like they do in football, so they'll get it done.
They haven't choked in football in a couple months.
It's just about that time. Okay, who will win the Big 12?
Man, the Big 12. Well, is it even really a question, Chris? It's always Kansas. Like, why are we even asking ourselves this when Kansas pretty much owns the Big 12? They
because the Power 6 conference is on the slideshow.
Well, see, Kansas, they're an interesting school. They take all of their athletics and they make all the teams suck except basketball.
No, that's not true. That's not true. The football team's going to be win over Texas Tech this weekend.
Man, Texas Tech.
Hard to smile.
Well, my pick is Kansas. Kansas for the Big 12. Pretty much a no-brainer pick, and it would be stupid to pick against it.
Okay. Max?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kansas as well. They always find a way to choke, but I think that they'll save that for March. So I think they'll take out the Big Ten.
Chris, you're going to hate me for this. I got a 3-way tie at the top between...
All right,
I think Shaka Smart breaks through, and I think he wins his first Big 12 championship.
Okay, all right. No, you're been disqualified. You're done. You're done picking.
I also, I believe, I really like Baylor.
You're done picking.
I like Baylor as well. I think Baylor will tie Texas. And Kansas will also tie because Kansas wins it every year. I don't think Chris Beard. What Chris Beard is doing is very sustainable. Just getting all these transfers. He lucked out last year with Matt Moody and Tariq Owens. I don't think it's going to happen again this year. But I really like what Texas is doing. I think they'll break through. Baylor might return the most.
That's enough.
Baylor is the most production from last year that they returned, and I really, really like what Kansas is doing. You know, Kansas is going to have a revenge tour. I think they'll tie at about 14-4. All three of them.
I'm taking Kansas. They're much better than the rest of the pack. The Big 12 is not very good this year. Mike,
Texas Tech sneaky team to come out of Big 12. Revenge.
You can't ignore what Shaka Smart has done at VCU. Went to a Final Four. He's definitely not the Jim Harbaugh of college basketball. He's a winner. Does what he can. He won the NIT. Listen.
No, I can't even talk about.
No, they have momentum coming off that NIT win.
No. The SEC. Okay, yeah, the NIT. The SEC.
Well, honestly, the SEC. Honestly, I see Auburn could potentially win the SEC this year over Kentucky. Auburn's been a rising team the past few years after being the SEC basis for a while. But I'm going to take Auburn. Kentucky's going to be good. We'll see Tennessee also, but I'm taking Auburn in the end.
Kentucky, easy. Next question.
Well, I like a lot of teams in this conference. I think there's going to be a 5-way tie at the top.
Mike, are you kidding me?
Well, let's start out west. Listen, I really, really like that guy with the glasses. What the hell is his name? That went from Virginia Tech. Buzz Williams. I think he'll have his team ready.
Yes, Buzz Williams, yes.
I think there'll be a 14-way tie at the top. But all teams going 9-9 in the conference play. Okay, no. I think there are a couple contenders. I think Florida's a contender. I think Kentucky's a contender. Watch out for Tennessee. I think Tennessee will be better this year. And they lose the biggest choker in college basketball history and the guy that looked like a gorilla. What the hell's his name? Schofield. They lose him. They still have the choking coach, but I think they're built for the regular season. I like Levante Turner. I like what they have. Another team to watch out for is Frank Martin in South Carolina. People forget they made the Final Four a couple of years ago, and he's definitely not the Mark D'Antonio of college basketball. So I think South Carolina could have a shot. But I got to go with Florida because of the experience they have, and they have the best coach in the conference. I got to go with Florida.
I really like Florida. I think it's a two-way race between them and Kentucky. I really, really like Florida, but I think the talent is going to win out in the regular season at least, and Kentucky wins this conference, even though Calipari is the single worst coach in the country. Florida will compete. The talent's going to win out for Kentucky. Okay, my favorite conference. Who will win the Big East?
Oh, man, the Big East. What a great conference. Yeah. Even though they're just inferior to the Americans. Honestly, it's going to be Villanova again. I'll catch it great. Other great teams that will show up again will be Xavier. Maybe Providence. I think Providence could rebound.
Oh.
Yep. St. John's could show up also. Honestly, it's Villanova. But honestly, it's going to be Villanova, as we all well know. The Wildcats are just too great of a program to lose honestly, a mid.
Okay, it is not.
Chris, it has Butler, DePaul, and Georgetown.
May I remind you that Butler went to 2 straight national championship games with Brad Stevens.
And
but they were in the Horizon. They were with Oakland in the Horizon.
And Chris, they also had, guess this, Gordon Hayward.
team.
They have now nobody.
The committee has acknowledged the power, Big East, the Power Six.
No, the committee hasn't done crap.
Or the West Coast Conference?
No.
Wow.
Max, who you got?
Well, I think that Marcus Howard is going to score 55 a game for
Oh,
Marquette.
for fuck's sake.
I think Marquette will win the Big East solely on Marquette Howard's shoulders.
Oh, my
I like
God.
that pick. I like that pick.
Marquette might be the worst team in the Big East. They are awful. They were so bad, their best two players transferred out. That's how bad they are.
Is Marcus Howard still on Marquette?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he sucks.
Okay.
I've never seen a player choke so many times. I've never seen a player choke more than Marcus Howard did last year. Every big shot, every free throw, every crucial free throw he missed, a crucial turnover at the end of the game that gave the game away. It was like on cue. I call it. Okay, he's gonna miss his free throw. Oh, he missed it. Oh, what a shocker! Yeah, he's the most overrated college basketball player I've ever seen in my life. He sucks. Marquette sucks. They might win a conference game, but that's a stretch. No, at the top, Villanova's going to win it, but watch out for Travis Steele and Xavier. They're going to be really good this year. They might be better than that Xavier team that was a 1 seed a couple years ago. They're really good.
Just because you said I'm now a huge Marquette fan. They're my biggest.
It's okay. We took your second best player. That's okay with me.
Okay. Well, a lot of great teams in this conference. There are going to be 8 out of the 10 teams that make the tournament in this conference.
Oh, I got 3.
No, it'll be 8 out of 10. The only 2 teams that won't make it are St. John's and DePaul.
I think St. John's might make it. Mike Anderson's a great coach. That might have been the best hire of the year right there. Finally get some diversity in the Big East. The Big East is full of white coaches. Finally, a black guy.
Yeah, what's Ed Cooley?
Ed Cooley doesn't count. How many tournament games has he won? 1?
Patrick Ewing?
Okay, fair enough.
Dave Leopold?
Oh, the guy that has made 1 tournament in 30 years? Is that the guy you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The Big East winner is clear cut. It's going to be Seton Hall. They're clearly the best team in the conference. They have the best.
Okay, let's calm down.
They have the best player in the country. It's not even close.
No.
They're the best team.
He's not even the best player in his team.
Chris, what's going on? Applying at Seton Hall, trying to get those big points.
Chris, what about Angel Delgado? He's their best player.
He's a big.
They're trying to tell you that just sucking off Seton Hall for no reason just won't get you into Seton Hall.
And Seton Hall has the best coach in the nation,
Chris.
and their roster is stacked.
What about Angel Delgado, their best player?
He's good.
Okay, you don't even know their team because Angel Delgado left the team like 3 years ago. So
No.
you said
no,
you're Mr.
he's
Big
a
East
graduate-
and you don't even know your team. Don't even know the Big East teams.
No, he's a graduate assistant.
Get out of here.
Pretty sure he's in the NBA, but whatever.
Okay, fair enough. I can't remember the other guy's name.
Oh, you don't even know. You don't even know who's on
No.
the team.
Oh, that's your no. Miles Kale. Miles Kale and Miles Powell. One of the best duos in the league, in the Big East and in the country. This is the best team in the
Did
Big
you
East.
see-
It's not even
Did you see the Big East represented America or represented the U.S. The Big East All Stars down at the whatever the hell they call it tournament and got waxed like 4 times?
Yeah.
That's how crappy their conference is.
No, didn't actually do that. Okay. But it's going to be Seton Hall. There are going to be 8 teams that make the tournament from this conference, but Seton Hall, I mean, what a team. And Kevin Willard's the best coach in the country, so.
That's why he's at Seton Hall.
Who will win the ACC?
ACC. Honestly, it's going to be the Duke Blues Devils, in my opinion. It's just Coach K is going to wheel up some random 18-year-old, and he does it every year. Coach K, I don't know who's going to this year. but Coach K is going to get a new superstar, and you're going to turn a kid into a new superstar. So honestly, I see Duke winning there again with a strong showing by Virginia, and maybe some other teams like maybe Clemson. Clemson, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Clemson's a good team. I can't forget
course.
some great programs like Buzz Williams and Virginia Tech.
Yeah. No, Buzz Williams isn't there anymore. He left.
Sorry,
they got the guy from Wofford College as the coach now.
Also, you just don't forget about some great teams
But Texas
like
A&M
Wake Forest.
is a great team out of the
I think Wake Forest could have a great start this year. But and again, obviously Duke winning, it's pretty clear to us that Duke is going to win the ACC. Because who else can go check?
That's a ridiculous take. Max.
I think you already know my answer. I like Duke coming out of the ACC. Obviously, their freshman class this year isn't as good as it was last year's. But I think that they have a lot more upperclassmen that they can depend on.
Yep,
compared to last
Jack
year.
White, great player.
I don't think they'll be as good as they were last year, but I don't see anyone taking them down.
Well, they were terrible last year.
Yeah.
All right then.
Right, Mike?
Oh yeah, the ACC, of course, the team that never does anything in the conference that never does anything in the tournament. What a shocker! Man, there are a couple teams I really like. We got to start with Notre Dame. I think they're going to have a huge bounce back season. They got Rex Pfluger back, and they have a sneaky good coach in Mike Bray. He's won the conference before, and remember the ACC championship. They don't have a regular season championship, so I have to go with the tournament. They might do well in the tournament. Florida State, man, what's his name? I can't remember the coach's name. Leonard Hamilton. Very good. He's a great brother. He does a very nice job. Good coach.
Great coach.
Everybody's overrating Louisville. I think they're experienced and they got some good recruits. I'm not completely sold in yet. We'll see what they do in the out of conference season. I got to go with North Carolina. I don't, over under on Duke threes made this year is like 5. They can't shoot the ball to save their lives, and they don't have that dominant force to overcome that. I think they'll still be pretty good. They'll probably still get a 1 seed because of the bias in the committee. But I think North Carolina is dynamic, and I think they're going to win it. I think Virginia is going to be second because Virginia always finds a way to be good. And I think Duke will be, middle of the pack, 8th or 9th, but they'll still get a 1 seed.
It's going to be a competitive conference this year. I really like North Carolina. They're always, they're going to be a top 10 team, really, really solid team. I think Duke takes a big step back this year.
What about, I really like NC State, too. I really like what they're doing at NC State.
NC State's good.
They might average 24 a game. That's how good they are.
Yeah, NC State's actually pretty good. They're going to have a good year. They're going to make the tournament.
Yeah, they're going to start. They're going to start 14-0 because they play nobody.
They're good. Mike, you forget, and this is what's going to happen. NC State's going to walk across the hall in the PNC Arena, and they're going to go over to the Carolina Hurricanes front office, and they're going to find out, people will class for them on how to win stuff with nothing. They're going to turn a bad team into possibly a deep team.
Yeah, the Hurricanes will win a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Another team I really like, Georgia Tech, really good team.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they didn't have the strippers come in, they'd have a chance.
Okay. Really solid team they are.
Yeah, they brought in the strippers, and they got a 1-year ban for it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If I'm a coach and I just want to satisfy my players' needs, I'd bring in some strippers. Nothing wrong with that.
Quick reminder that Georgia Tech lost 92-65 yesterday to Alabama.
I'm going to have to go with Louisville, though. I really like what Chris Mack is doing there. He is the best coach in that conference. Okay, maybe not better than Roy Williams, but he's one of the best coaches in that conference.
Oh, please.
Louisville has a lot of talent. Jordan Nora, big-time player. I like Louisville.
Okay, here's what I don't understand. Louisville loses in the first round of the tournament. They get a couple good recruits. Now they're number 4 in the AP poll. Ohio State wins the tournament game, brings pretty much everybody back, and gets like 3 good recruits. And Ohio State's barely a top 20 team. No, Ohio State and Louisville are very similar teams. Very similar.
No. Ohio State's at 18, Louisville's at 5.
Okay.
Maryland's at 7.
Let's move on to the Big Ten.
Louisville lost to Minnesota in the tournament last year. Minnesota.
Yeah, Richard Pitino, big-time coach.
Yeah, the Pitino got revenge for his dad. Who also brought in the strippers?
All right, Big Ten. I'm picking the Illinois Fighting Illini this year to win the Big Ten. Honestly, Champaign is a tough place to play at State Farm Fieldhouse, and I think that Illinois could be good this year. Well, honestly, Illinois, I guess they take it in the tournament, and then they'll be strong showing by Michigan State, Ohio State.
Oh, are they?
Honestly, because you get someone like Purdue, Purdue's going to be good this year. Honestly, I see Maryland as extremely overranked, as every year they choke drastically and finish off the year as unranked. So honestly, I see Illinois winning this year.
Mac?
Michigan State, I think Josh Williamson's the best player in the conference by a wide margin. But something to look out for is on the Purdue team. I think do they still have that dude that looks like he's like 55? I don't know his name, but let's see if he can make an impact for them. Somebody to watch for.
Yeah, I've got 10 Big Ten teams in the tournament this year. The only teams I don't have are Northwestern, Nebraska, who returns 1 player from their team last year. It breaks my heart to say I don't think Minnesota is going to make the tournament. It's really unfortunate, and I don't see it from. Oh man, I don't see it from Iowa with all the injuries they have, all the transfers.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
What?
How do you know Iowa in the tournament?
They don't have Bohannon.
Iowa's 16. Iowa's a football school.
They're a big-time team.
They don't have Bohannon.
So?
What do you mean, so? They lost Isaiah Moss to Kansas, and they got that big guy. Tyler Cook left, and all they got is Luka Garza and that other big white guy. All they are a bunch of white guys, and Iowa wonders why they never do crap in the tournament. It's because they have a bunch of white guys who can't play. I mean, if
The extra points for diversity.
Okay, so there are a couple contenders. I really think first one I gotta go is Ohio State. I think Ohio State's gonna contend. I think Michigan State will contend. I think Purdue will contend because they always do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much they've lost because they lost like 80 points from 2 years ago, and they still won the Big Ten last year. And a team to watch out for. Maryland, that's another team. Although I think their coach really brings them down. He'll find a way to not give them a chance to win. But watch out for Archie Miller and the Indiana Hoosiers. I think they're going to have a big bounce back year. I'm not saying they're going to win the conference, but they will have a winning record. They will make the tournament. Penn State's going to be good.
No,
they are. Penn State's going to make the tournament.
No, they're not.
And my sleeper team to make the tournament is the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. I think they do it. I think they break through. I think they win the tournament, or not the tournament.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I think they're going to win the national championship. They got a really solid team. I really like their Steve Peichel, top 3 coach in the Big Ten. One team that could sneak up on some people by the end of the year. I think Michigan's going to be good by the end of the year. Just because of, Beeline, he really built the intelligence on this roster. I think Juwan Howard's going to bring that down. I think he's going to bring the team down, but, I think they'll still be pretty good. But I got to go with a tie between Michigan State and Purdue because Purdue always finds a way to win the Big Ten every year, it seems like. Doesn't matter how good they are.
I don't know about this year for the Big Ten. I think Michigan State is better, a lot better than these other teams. Maryland's good, but after that, Michigan's pretty good, Purdue's pretty good, and I don't really see it from many other teams.
Indiana, they got Rob Finney. Rob Finney.
Ohio State probably makes the tournament. Illinois makes the tournament.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention Illinois. I really like Illinois as well. I love the job Brad Underwood's doing. A couple rebuilding years. This is the year I think they'll break through, and they'll make the tournament this year.
Minnesota makes the tournament. Iowa makes the tournament.
Okay, Minnesota? Are you freaking kidding me?
I like Minnesota this year.
Okay, name one player they have. Like, honestly, name one player.
That's not relevant.
Okay. They lost Amir Coffey.
Rutgers is not going to make it. Rutgers is not making it. Northwestern, Nebraska, Indiana. All right, but Michigan State's going to win this. They're the best team, and it's not really very close. I don't think.
I think Penn State. Penn State will give them a run for their money.
Trash. All right, let's talk about some hot seats. Who do you think is on the hot seat right now? Name one coach you think is on the hot seat right now that people aren't talking about enough. Okay, thank you, Heath. Max?
I think that Harbaugh. I mean, obviously that's not kind of under the radar. I think that the elements of last week's game against Notre Dame kind of cooled off his hot seat. But
thank you. That would be the wrong sport. Mike.
I thought you were talking about football. I'm sorry. All right, never mind.
Max, you have anybody?
I do not know.
Okay. Good.
I think it's kind of hard. I think it's kind of hard to talk about another man's job about a month before the season starts.
Yeah. I will be talking about a lot of people's jobs here.
Yeah, Mike. I have a lot of people to talk about too, Mike.
Oh, yeah. I got to start with Dave Cooley. He has been mediocre at best.
Cooley?
What?
You said Dave Cooley.
What the hell's his name?
Ed Cooley.
Ed Cooley. Listen, he's so mediocre I don't even know his name, okay? He needs to win a tournament game this year. If he doesn't win a tournament game, I'd fire his ass. Because he hasn't done anything. The only thing he does is set up those camps. That's all he does. When the season actually starts, his teams suck. So, they actually have to win a tournament game this year. Who the hell is that in the bottom right?
That's the BC coach.
Jim Christian. Are you serious? What are you smoking? He's one of the best coaches in the ACC. And who's the guy in the upper right?
That's Dave Leotow.
Oh, Dave who? Leotow?
The ball coach.
No, he will never be fired. He's been there for 30 years and he's made one tournament. He'll never be fired. My freaking grandma could do better than that. She don't even have to recruit. Just get walk-ons and you still get better than that. I think it's a joke that Pat Chambers is on here. He's one of the best coaches in America.
You bashed him all last year.
Well, listen, it's a new year, new him. Same with Shaka Smart. Shaka Smart's a top 5 coach in the NCAA. Listen, he's had some rough years, but he will find a way to win the Big 12 this year. Trust me. He's definitely not on the hot seat. But I mentioned Dave Cooley earlier.
Right this second.
What?
Right this second, the athletic director of Texas needs to go to Shaka Smart's office and fire him right now.
No, that's ridiculous.
He is a terrible coach. They haven't done anything, and that's a big time program.
Okay.
So
another guy on the hot seat is Sean Miller. I've been hearing rumors he's going to be gone anyway, but Sean Miller's on the hot seat. Lon Kruger's on the hot seat. He's sucked at Oklahoma. Besides that 1 year with Buddy Hield.
He's never going to get fired. He's not on the hot seat.
Yeah, he is. What's his name? The guy, Mick Cronin's on the hot seat immediately. His first year he's on the hot seat because that job you have to win immediately. And I don't care how much they paid him because those boosters will pay off that money real quick because expectations are high. And they are a former blue blood, but they've lost that status because they haven't won crap over the past 20 years. I mean, there are a lot of coaches on the hot seat. A lot of coaches that need to win and win now. You look out east, you look at Seton Hall. I mean, Kevin Willard's got to win. He's got to go far in the tournament. This guy loses every year in the first round.
Pat Chambers, I think, is on the hot seat.
Chris, they lost in the first round. They lost to Wofford in the first round last year.
But, the coach I really want to talk about is Dave Leto from DePaul. DePaul's a former blue blood, and
what?
They've won tournament like 30 years. So something needs to happen there. There needs to be a coaching change there in that department. It's not working out there, but, my biggest guy here is Shaka Smart. He is a joke of a head coach. He is terrible. Absolutely awful. He's a terrible head basketball
Chris,
coach.
Would you rather have Jim Harbaugh as your football coach or Shaka Smart as your basketball coach?
Shaka Smart. All right, let's move on. Who you got for sleeper teams?
Illinois.
Okay. Mac.
It's not really a sleeper team, but I do like UNC this year. I think that Cole Anthony will be one of the best players in the country as a freshman. And although they lost a decent amount of talent, I think they'll definitely finish in the top 10, have a top 2 seed in the tournament.
All right, Mike.
Want to explain to me why Washington State's on here?
They're a really good team. Really, really solid roster.
And why is Bonzie Colson over there? I'm pretty sure he's been out of the NCAA for many years.
No, it's the Bonzie Colson effect.
The Bonzie Colson effect, okay. Sleeper teams, I have no fucking clue. No idea who's a sleeper team because I haven't watched anybody play. I guess I got to go off the secret scrimmages. I guess I got to say UTEP. That's the only results we have. So UTEP's definitely a sleeper. I don't know. I guess I got to go with Texas because I picked them to win the Big 12. So they're a sleeper. I think Kansas State's a sleeper. I haven't mentioned them yet. They lost Barry Brown Jr. and Dean Wade, but they still have Cartier Jara. They still have the best coach in the Big 12. I think they'll be very solid. I think they'll be in the tournament, and they will go farther than last year where they kind of choked in the first round. But listen, a team I really like is Memphis. No, I'm joking.
Okay.
Memphis sucks.
No, you're saying that to
Mike, this place is from the Power 9.
Exactly. Chris, with Memphis being in the top 15, the American is now a Power 7 conference. So I'm shocked you didn't have them on there. But, one team that I think will be a sleeper this year, but, they've lost a lot of players over the past couple of years is Tulane. Tulane got a new coach. I know they struggled last year, but I like Tulane a lot. The other team I really like is Cal Baptist, and I know this is only their second year in Division I, but I think they can do pretty well. Grand Canyon as well. They got Jalen Fisher, the whatever guy.
I have 5 sleepers.
Is it these 4 teams right here?
No. I'll start with Auburn.
Michigan.
No.
I I forgot to mention Oakland.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, that reminds me, I have 6 sleeper teams. I'll start with Auburn because of the Jarrett Stidham effect. That's why they're a sleeper team. Michigan. Michigan's a sleeper team. People aren't talking about them enough. For sure. And then maybe 3 teams you're not really thinking of. Detroit Mercy.
For
really,
fuck's sake.
really, really good team.
Oh, my God.
A couple other ones here. Merrimack, first year in Division 1. They're going to have a really, really good year.
Okay, Hayden, okay.
Maine is going to have a really good year. I'm picking them to win the American East.
Where the? Okay.
Oh, yeah. So,
My biggest sleeper is the Providence Friars. You can't sleep on this team. This is a really, really,
Chris,
really good basketball team.
I do agree with you on this thing, on this side of it. I mean, they do have a coach coaching for his job, so they will be desperate. I will agree with you on that.
Okay, let's move on. So we have some Big Ten and National Player of the Year candidates here on this slide.
How dare you put Simpson on here? How dare you?
Who will win the Big Ten and National Player of the Year?
National Player of the Year, I have no idea, to be honest.
All right, Big Ten Player of the Year.
Same thing.
Okay, great. Max.
I like Cassius Winston, or Caleb Weston for the Big Ten Player of the Year.
Oh, number 1 overall pick, Caleb Weston. Great pick.
And National Player of the Year, gee, it could be really anyone. I don't know.
All right, good pick. Mike.
Oh, man. I want to listen. Before Langford got injured, I was going to say that because Michigan State had so many different scoring options, that Winston would kind of take a back seat and his stats would go down, and he wouldn't win the Big Ten or National Player of the Year because of it. But I think because Langford got injured, I think he'll have to score a little bit more, assist a little bit more. I think he'll win the Big Ten Player of the Year. I don't think he'll win the National Player of the Year. My National Player of the Year is a little off the radar. I'm going to go with James Wiseman from Memphis because it pisses Chris off. But I have practical reasons for it as well. I think he'll dominate in a conference that sucks. I think he'll put up gaudy stat line that won't be matched by anybody. I think he'll be like a Zion Williamson type domination of those American teams, and it will impress a lot of people. But if he doesn't win it, I guess, a guy that might have a shot is, is Luke Maybach for his 20th year? No, he's not back. Unfortunately, one of the best players in college basketball history is gone, finally.
Yeah, Caleb Pinson, too. He's going as well.
Yep, that's true. I mean, listen, there are a lot of good players, and I don't think it's, there are a lot of options. I don't think one player is going to run away with it like Zion did last year. So, I mean, I could say, Wiseman. I could say Winston. I could say Ayo Dosunmu from Illinois. I could say a bunch of different guys have a shot at this. It's a 5 or 6 player race. It's kind of like the Heisman this year. It's a lot closer than it was in previous years. But I got to go with James Wiseman because it pisses Chris off.
Okay. My Big Ten Player of the Year is Cassius Winston. It's pretty self-explanatory. But National Player of the Year is pretty interesting. Now, I'm going to go with Miles Powell because I'm big on Seton Hall and Miles Powell this year. But a big sleeper for this award that not a lot of people are talking about is Alpha Diallo from Providence.
I mean,
oh my!
Sure,
Alpha Diallo.
All right, we're off the rails. We're off the rails here.
No, he's a top 3 player in the Big East.
Okay, Alpha Diallo. If he's a Player of the Year candidate, everybody's a Player of the Year candidate. Freaking throw in Tillman, Xavier Tillman, throw him in there. Throw Rocket Watts in there. Throw Xavier Simpson in there.
Marcus Howard. and Alpha Diallo, 3 best players in the Big East.
Alpha Diallo. What are you smoking?
He's a great player.
He sucks.
All right.
He's playing for Providence. That explains it right there.
Let's move on to the AP poll. This abomination of a poll that the AP voters released a couple weeks ago.
Why, Chris? Chris. And this is what I think it's a great poll. It's such a diverse poll. A lot of the Power 5 teams, and then there's some special ones like the Big East team, the Mountain West team, which is pretty big, and a couple American teams. But the West Coast Conference, I believe, makes a lot of Power 9 teams.
Oh, right, yeah.
There's two teams in the AP poll. Gonzaga and St. Mary's, 2 amazing programs. So we can't forget about the A10 getting the VCU in. Some teams receiving votes. Let's look at it. Illinois got some votes. Harvard. I think Harvard could be ranked come the end of the year.
Okay. All right, Max.
I was about to say, I just remembered I said that Marcus Howard will be averaging 45 points a game, so he's my pick for National Player of the Year.
Oh, okay. What's the AP poll? Okay, Mike?
Nobody knows anything about any of these teams, so I can't judge it. I mean, obviously they're going to put the big brands first, like Kentucky and Kansas. Doesn't matter how bad they are or Duke, they're always going to be in the top 10. And at the bottom of the top 25, you got teams that people are predicting could be pretty good. VCU. They might win the A10, although I think the A10 is going to be an interesting race this year. They got Davidson in there. Dayton's going to be pretty good. Auburn doesn't belong in the top 25. They're only there because of the whatever. They made the Final Four last year. Purdue should be higher. Even though they lose everybody, they still find a way to win. It doesn't really matter. They're kind of like Wisconsin in football. They just find a way. And just like Wisconsin in football, they suck when they actually have to play a good team that's outside the Big Ten. Arizona, I don't know about Arizona. They got that ginger guy, Nico Mannion. Interesting pickup there. We'll see. St. Mary's, very interesting that St. Mary. I was shocked they put St. Mary's in here. They do have Jordan Ford, who might be the best player. That's a sleeper for the Player of the Year. Jordan Ford from St. Mary's. He's going to average over 25 a game because St. Mary's is going to need that to win. The St. Mary's team might be as good as those St. Mary's teams back when they had Jock Landale a couple of years ago. They're going to be very good. But, I mean, it's hard to criticize the AP poll before games have been even played. I mean, there's nothing I really had a big problem with in this AP poll, besides maybe Memphis being a little too high. But, with a hyped-up team, I was shocked they were in the top 10, to be honest. So, the AP poll wasn't that bad.
This poll is an abomination. It is a joke. Memphis, are you kidding me? How is this team ranked? This team is garbage. Are you kidding me? No, they are garbage. They are terrible.
Chris,
way too low.
Chris, Memphis is what Michigan is going to turn into.
And this is the biggest problem I have with this. How is Michigan not ranked in this? Are you kidding me? Where is Michigan?
Well,
this
I mean,
absolutely
Chris,
absurd.
Most of the AP voters probably looked at Andy Katz's top 36 and saw Michigan wasn't in it.
Oh, wow. Okay, fair enough. All right. Let's get to the better rankings here. The Big Four top 25. So we'll start with the teams that received votes. A lot of interesting teams here. A lot of them from Luke. Receiving votes, Davidson, Canisius.
Oh, yeah. What is the voting system you used?
First place, 25 votes, and 25th place.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Chris's voting system is it only Power 5 now?
Power 5 teams get Chris. Does Power 5 teams get a 100-point bonus on here?
Stop getting mad that all these teams like NC State, Syracuse, Creighton, Notre Dame, Cincinnati, Georgetown, Houston, Mississippi State, Missouri, Illinois, Harvard, Davidson, Florida State, Marquette, Tennessee, Colorado, and Washington all have more votes than Michigan.
Okay, Mike.
Michigan is going to the
Oh, Harvard. Harvard's a team that's a sleeper team this year. Watch out for
Mike.
Harvard. What?
Mike, what system do you use?
I take the average of the 4 rankings.
Oh, that's absurd.
And if you're unranked, you get 26. You rank 26.
No, okay, that is ridiculous. That's why Michigan State stuck into the rankings a couple weeks ago.
Okay, no, that has nothing to do with it. They could have been ranked
Yes, it does.
I could set my unranked teams to 1,000. It wouldn't freaking matter.
Okay. Other teams here: Georgetown, New Mexico. Luke voted for them. Creighton, Colorado, Providence, Illinois, Utah State, and Washington all received votes. Did not make the cut, and we're going to start from 1 to 25. I'll go right down the line here of the Big Four top 25. Michigan State, number 1. Everybody voted for them in first place. Kansas, Kentucky, Duke, Louisville, Florida, North Carolina, Gonzaga, Maryland.
Whoa, what's the tiebreaker between Louisville and Florida?
I looked at I looked at average rank.
Okay. All right.
Going to get Louisville on top.
Average rank was the tiebreaker.
That turns out your fantasy ball rating.
No, average rank was the tiebreaker.
Are you sure?
Okay,
Are you sure, Chris? Are you sure it wasn't the computer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good point.
Okay. I wasn't even average rank. It was like who had them higher in each poll. I don't know. I don't remember what I did. Maryland, Virginia, Texas Tech, Seton Hall, Ohio State, Villanova, Baylor, Memphis. Okay, and the only reason Memphis is on here is because Alex had them at number 5.
Pretty sure Alex had Nevada in the top 3 before last year. So
Yeah. Purdue, Xavier, Oregon, Arizona, LSU, Michigan, St. Mary's, VCU, and Marquette rounds out our top 25.
Oh, Chris!
Yeah, that's right.
Chris, how did
They had
Michigan
Marquette
sneak
at
in
9. That's
the
the
rankings?
only reason. All of Marquette's votes are for me.
Sneaking Michigan into the top 25.
Yeah, how did
No,
Michigan
Mike
sneak
had them-
in? Yep.
Mike, okay, both Mike and I had them at number 13. So,
No.
all right, reaction to these rankings.
Chris had Michigan alone. And
Yeah.
that's why
Reaction to these rankings.
Yep, that is true. Chris had Michigan number 2, and nobody else had them ranked. They found a way to snuck in.
Yeah. Reaction to these rankings.
I think Mike, that's too low. I think that they're being disrespected, and they should be easy top 15 team just because of Marcus Howard.
Okay. Keith,
Hold up the question.
reactions to these rankings?
Honestly, I think they're pretty biased. Honestly,
Mike, reaction to these rankings?
They're all right. I think they're better than the AP, but that's not really, But once again, it's hard to tell early in the year. I mean, you got to look at a team like, Seton Hall. I don't know how they're this high. It doesn't make any sense to me.
That's ridiculous.
I don't like Seton Hall. I mean, they have one player, and that's it. That doesn't win you basketball games, unless it's Cassius Winston. Now, I mean, the rest of the poll's all right. St. Mary's is too low. Virginia's all right. Maryland's, that's fine. Yeah, they're all right. They're fine.
Yeah, this isn't bad. Seton Hall should be a little higher, Ohio State a little lower, Michigan a little higher, but this is a pretty good poll. This is pretty good. All right, I don't think we're going to have time for picks today, unless you want to do them, Mike.
Oh, why not?
Okay, well, we have one more thing before the pick. Final four predictions, quickly. Who do you have in your final four?
Honestly, I got Illinois, Duke, Kansas, and I'm gonna have to play. I'll play Hawaii. I think it's Hawaii.
Nice. Okay, Mac.
I got it. I have Duke, Michigan State. I think that Kentucky and Kansas
Oh,
both
Duke,
choke like all
of course.
Of course. And then my other two teams are, I'd say Maryland and I think Texas Tech will make it back again.
Oh,
Texas Tech, Maryland, Michigan State, Duke.
okay. Mike?
Well, I know Jay Billis will have Kansas, Kentucky, North Carolina, and Duke for the 20th straight year in his final
No.
four.
No, have you seen his updated one? He has five different versions.
Excuse me?
So he has five different versions of his final four. The last one I saw was Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, Clemson, and Boston College.
Okay, no. He's obsessed with Duke and North Carolina. He has them in his Final Four every freaking year. And he's the big Michigan State jinx because every time he has Michigan State in his Final Four, they lose early. So I hope he doesn't, but I'm sure he will. I think Michigan State will get back there. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really thought about this much. Michigan State, I gotta go with Texas, just because I haven't riding a high. So I'll go with Texas. I'll go with Florida. I think Florida will be pretty good, and it's every other year. Villanova comes in and somehow makes it to the Final Four and wins it. I think they'll make the Final Four this year. I'll take Villanova. And I think Kentucky doesn't make it again. I think Duke doesn't make it again. I think Louisville loses early because that's Chris Mack's specialty. Yeah, I'll go with those four teams.
All right. I have Louisville. I have Florida. I have Seton Hall, and I have Providence in my final four.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, Providence. Really good sample size. Really, they've really done a lot to prove to you that they have a shot.
Ready? And their secrets, how much they beat Purdue.
How much did you pay? Honestly.
Okay.
How much does it get you to be a massive sellout?
They won their secret scrimmage against Purdue, and there was another media member a couple months ago that said Providence is a sleeper Final Four team. So therefore, I'm picking Providence.
Okay, but about five people said Michigan State was a sleeper college football playoff team this year. So
yeah, no, one person said that. You.
No, it was me and the black guy from CBS.
Oh, right, that's right. Yeah, his playoff was really good. Okay, do we want to do the picks, or are we done?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, good. Okay, let's make these quick. So congrats to reigning champ Mike on the picks.
And I end up winning in football too. So.
Oh, are you?
Hey, Chris, gotta step it up. Hey, everything. You got it. Coach Karma. One by one.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, Chris, Coach Karma's watching.
Okay, let's start off here with a big game here, Louisville at Miami.
Honestly, it's a no-brainer that Louisville's still in this game. Not only is Louisville higher ranked, but honestly, does anyone in Miami care about the Miami Hurricanes basketball team?
No.
In Southeast.
Of course not.
Team. And that is the Miami Heat. The Miami Hurricanes are the ugly stepsister. It's Louisville on a blowout. Big sticker for Louisville early on.
I like Louisville here in a blowout. They're the number 5 team. They're ranked number 5 in the country. They shouldn't be losing to a team like Miami the first game of the year.
Man, this is a trap game out of the gate. Louisville has to go to Miami to start the year. That's a trap game. It'll be
Jim Larinee, a big time coach.
Yep, one of the worst coaches in the country. Yep. So I think it's going to be a close game. It'll go down to the end. I think Louisville will pull it off, and they'll thank their lucky stars that they found a way to win this game. because they won't be ready to
Is
play.
it a conference game? Is it a conference game?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to take Louisville, too. I agree with, it's going to be a close one. It's a trap game, first game of the season. Don't see that a lot. And by the way, as you can see, I put the better coach on each slide. I just want to make sure everybody knows that. So Chris Mack is on the slide. Okay, let's move on. Appalachian State at Michigan. Well, hold on. Will Mike do what he did last year and pick Holy Cross to beat Michigan? Will he pick Appalachian
I
State?
meant to pick the first half in that game, which Holy Cross actually won. So
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. My pick. I have App State. Well,
Of course.
Mental block against App State.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
App State's winning
Great
right
there.
It will prove once again that Michigan is a big team, and they're going to be on there. They're going to be beating that early. But I see Michigan somehow making the NCAA tournament, even though they've lost to a quality action team, a quality Fun Belt team, in App State.
Next.
Although the Sun Belt is one of the premier conferences in Division One, I still like Michigan.
yeah, Power 12 conference. Yep. Okay. This is a question for you, Chris. Whose eyes are farther apart, Xavier Simpson or Juwan Howard?
What question is that?
What? What do you mean? What kind of question is that?
Let's pick the game.
There's a mile between the two eyes for both of them. I gotta go with Simpson. But Howard, my gosh. Yeah, I mean, listen, Michigan's going to win, and then the Michigan football Twitter page is going to tweet something out saying, oh, Michigan gets revenge on App State or something stupid. I've got Michigan winning.
Yeah, I've got Michigan too, and they Michigan blow up 59-43. Okay, Virginia Tech at Clemson.
I got the Hokies in this one.
Okay.
Let's go Hokies. What is not bad about Virginia Tech? So what, they lost Buzz Williams. Well, guess what? Virginia Tech is a quality basketball school, and I'd say basketball average at Virginia Tech outrivals their quality football program. Clemson, I mean, there's just no attention on that basketball team. The only thing that people in South Carolina care about, other than their South Carolina Gamecocks and Clemson, are the Clemson football team.
All right, Max.
It's just I'm going to use simple reasoning here. Clemson's a football school. Virginia Tech is a basketball school, so I choose Virginia Tech.
Mike.
As you can see, Elvis Presley is the coach at Clemson. I got to take Clemson because of that.
Yeah, I'm going to take Clemson because they're at home, and Virginia Tech is going to be a doormat this year. They lost a lot. So I'm taking Clemson. All right, Kansas versus Duke.
I'm picking the Duke Blue Devils because of Coach K. Coach K is going to design a game plan that is going to shut down Kansas. And we're going to see some...
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my.
We're going to see some late season Kansas a little earlier than expected.
Mike, or Max?
Well, I was going to pick Duke in a blowout, but he just chose them. So now I don't know what to do. I mean, I still like Duke. They always come out. They always, excel in these types of games. They obviously annihilated Kentucky last year. Granted, it was a different team, but I'll still take Duke.
Yeah, I could go on a 20-minute tangent about how terrible the Coach K is, and how he completely wasted Zion's entire season at Duke.
I agree.
Running the worst possible plays you could run with Zion. Any coach could have used Zion better. I think he might have dementia, the way he used Zion last year. He's a crappy coach. He's just a good recruiter. He used to be a good coach, but I guess the game's left him or something. The game passed him by. Give me Kansas. Give me Bill Self. They're the deeper team. They can shoot. They got the better big man. This is going to be a blowout. I got Kansas winning.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a blowout. Kansas is a much better team. Bill Self is going to coach circles around Coach K. Give me the Jayhawks. Michigan State versus Kentucky.
I'm taking Michigan State. Honestly, quality basketball. And Kentucky just has a bad coach. Michigan State's going to kind of like beat them outright. I'm thinking East Spartan. Go Spartan.
I'm taking Kentucky. I think that they don't want to get embarrassed like they did last year. So that's what I think they'll win by about 10, 15. Won't be close.
Mike?
Yeah, I agree with Max on this account. You know, Kentucky wants to get revenge for last year. Even though it's not against Duke, it's still in the Champions Classic. But you know, Michigan State has their own little revenge. They haven't won a Champions Classic game in a couple of years, and that's really because Izzo's teams really peak late in the year, and really early in the season, all Tom is trying to do is get his guys in, get his rotation set. I wouldn't be shocked if Winston carried us to a win, but I'm just going to take Kentucky in this one, because early in the year, talent means more than coaching early in the year. So I'm going to take Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm going to take. I got Michigan State in this game on a gut feeling. Kentucky. I watched them struggle last year in the Champions Classic. This is a team that does not play their best in the beginning of the season. I know Michigan State doesn't either, but I think Michigan State wins this game in a close one. All right. Utah at Nevada. As you can see, Steve Alford is the better coach here.
Utah. I'm thinking Nevada. Nevada is a great.
Okay.
Nevada. Yeah, they constantly make the right of 32 in the NCAA tournament. The Pac-12 is the most overrated conference in it. The power is not. I'm taking Nevada in this one. Great for Nevada's resume.
Well, despite how strong the Martin Twins effect is on this game, I'll take Utah.
Yeah, I don't know why this game's on here, to be honest with you. Nevada has like 2 players from last year's team. They are in a full rebuild. Utah, I don't think Utah's going to be that good, but I think they'll easily beat Nevada, even though it is a tough place to play. But I'm still going to take Utah.
Yeah, I'm going to take Utah, too, only because Nevada's roster is just terrible. Although I think Steve Alford keeps this game close. He's a really, really good coach.
Yeah, when the best recruit you've ever got is your son, then that's kind of a sad thing.
Listen, Bryce Alford was a big-time recruit for him.
Imagine if he didn't get his son. Imagine that.
Okay. Florida State at Pittsburgh.
I'm thinking Pitt. This is a new-look Pitt team, and not only the players, but also the uniforms and the colors. Pitt has ditched the awful navy and vintage gold for the amazing royal blue and athletic gold. Honestly, I'm thinking Pitt because Pitt is just the sky's looking up for Pitt.
I'll take Florida State solely because they kept it close with Duke, and that was the only game I watched for them. So, yeah, Florida State.
Florida State, they're going to have a bunch of big men from the Congo that they recruited, probably 4 of them. That'll be ready to go opening night against Pitt. I like what Jeff Capel's doing at Pitt. The Pat Narduzzi effect could come into play. But also, the Leonard Hamilton effect is in play as well. Very good coach. I'm taking Florida State.
Yeah, I'm going to take Florida State as well. I think Pitt is an absolute doormat. I don't think they're very good at all. So I'll take the Noles. All right. Cincinnati at Ohio State.
Cincinnati at Ohio State. It's just clear that Cincinnati is a better team than Ohio State football school. I'm taking Cincinnati, not only because they have a better team, but they're also a better conference. They're going to be American. Part of the Power 9.
Of course.
That's a great point.
But the Bearcats, they're a quality team, and I see a great future for the Bearcats here. But a quality win over a ranked opponent in the first week.
I'm gonna take Ohio State because I found out an hour ago that they're actually pretty good. That's my pick.
Wow. Oh shit. Wait. Okay. Didn't mean to do that. If you remember last year, this was a contested game between these two. It was a classic Mick Cronin choke job because I believe Ohio State shot like 10% from the field and still found a way to win. I believe Cincinnati completely dominated that game. But this is a completely new year. Cincinnati's got a new coach. I think Cincinnati's a tournament team. I don't know how good they are. I think they're solid, but Ohio State's better. And I think Ohio State's going to get their first big win of the year early.
Yeah, I'm going to take Ohio State in this one because Ohio State plays in a power conference and Cincinnati doesn't. Okay. Virginia at Syracuse.
I'm taking UVA. What a quality win after coming up a national championship. UVA is going to keep that streak going with a quality win over Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. I'm taking UVA all the way in this one.
I take UVA as well, solely for the fact that Virginia is a basketball school and Syracuse is a state football school.
Oh, is it?
I'm going to take Virginia. Syracuse law. The battle's gone. That other guy they had that was good, that was supposed to come back, he left for the NBA early. They're going to have to really rely on Buddy Boeheim. Very good player. I don't know if Buddy Boeheim can carry a team, though. Virginia's going to win. It's going to be a pretty good night. It'll be pretty close, but I think Virginia's going to win.
Yeah, the Carrier Dome is one of the toughest places to play in the country.
Not really. Not really.
Is a much better coach than Tony Bennett. I'm going to go with Syracuse in this game in the upset.
Excuse me?
Oh, Chris. Shut up.
Okay.
Yeah, shut the hell up. What the hell was that?
Defending national champs losing their first game to a mediocre Syracuse.
Not a mediocre team. Auburn versus Davidson.
Oh,
as much as I love Steph Curry's alma mater, I'm going with Auburn because Auburn is just a great team, and if you're just looking out for them, I think Auburn can make a run this year in the SEC.
Yeah, I like Auburn. I don't know anybody on Davidson. They're kind of irrelevant now, in a sense. Yeah.
Chris, I really appreciate that you put this game on here. It really shows me that you understand how good Davidson is going to be this season. The old coach is back. He's been there for like 50 years. He coached Seth Curry, or the fuck his name is, Steph, whatever. So he's got experience against good teams. And Kellen Grady is like Steph Curry. He can shoot the ball a little bit, plays good defense. I think Davidson's going to win this basketball game. Where is it? It's a neutral site, right?
Yeah.
It's a neutral site. Auburn doesn't give a crap about basketball. They'll all be at the football game, so it'll be all Davidson fans. I'm taking Davidson.
I do think this is going to be a really close game. I think Davidson's a tournament team, but talent does win out in the early season, like Mike said.
Yeah, Davidson has more of it.
Auburn. So I'm going to take Auburn. Okay, Baylor versus Washington.
Clear choice, Baylor there. Baylor had a rebound in basketball this season, right? I'm taking Baylor.
I don't know much about either of these teams because the Pac-12 is relevant and Baylor is also pretty relevant.
No, that's ridiculous.
So I'll take Baylor, I guess.
This is a very interesting matchup. I think these are Both of these teams are top 20 teams, I believe so. Washington got some talent. They got 2 impact freshmen. Baylor is really good. Baylor returns pretty much everybody, including the hell's that guy's name? The guy that came back. He was having a great season for them, but went out for the season. He's back. Baylor is the coaching advantage. This is going to be very... Yes, they do. Baylor, give me Scott Drew any day over this clown. I don't even know his name. He's a clown, though. He looks like a clown. Mike Hopkins. Classic crap job right here. I'm going with Baylor. I think it'll be an interesting game. It'll be very close, but like Chris said, early in the year, talent wins out, and Baylor's got more of it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Baylor. Talent wins out. And, they have the coaching advantage. This is a classic Scott Drew win. Get your team hyped. Get this media hyped up about this team before the season and then choke in the tournament.
Okay. It's hard to choke when your team's not that good.
He's choked plenty of times. May I remind you, R.J. Hunter?
Well, he doesn't have talent, so it's hard to choke when you don't have talent.
Well, he doesn't.
He does this year, but he doesn't usually have talent.
Okay. Arizona State versus Colorado.
Honestly, I'm taking Colorado. Did a great season for Colorado. Got some votes. But Colorado is a quality team, getting a good rebound. I'm taking Colorado in this one.
Like I said, Pac-12 is pretty relevant. I'll take Arizona State.
Yep. Colorado returns everybody from that team last year, and they were a good, solid NIT team last year. I think they're going to be one of the best teams in the Pac-12, and I think they will win this game.
Yeah, I'm going to take Colorado as well. They're a much better team than Arizona State. Talent wins out. Early in the season.
No, what about Remy Martin?
Okay. Oklahoma at Minnesota. Really intriguing game. What do you got?
Well, let's go Sooners. Honestly, Minnesota is one of those big Big Ten teams. They'll be good like 1 year, and then they'll suck for the next 5. Talent wins out. Sooners have more talent. So Sooners.
I agree with Keith. The Trae Young effect will come into play, and I think Oklahoma will win.
Yeah, this is a battle between 2 of the worst coaches in college basketball. What's his name? Richard Pitino's. He's terrible. He's such a bad coach. Like,
No.
he's easily the worst coach in the Big Ten, and I don't hesitate in saying that. He's bad, and Lon Kruger's not much better. He's pretty bad too. Lon Kruger has talent every single season, and they either barely make the tournament or they miss it every year. And that they had Trae Young and barely made the tournament. I'm going to take Oklahoma because usually Oklahoma plays well early in the year. They always do. With Trae Young, they started out as a 2 seed on the first bracketology. Then they barely made it. Last year, they won some big games last year, early in the year. I'm going to take Oklahoma.
I'm going to take Minnesota because of the Richard Pitino effect. Great coach.
He's so bad.
Much better than Lon Kruger. Give me the Gophers.
He makes it so easy. When Michigan State plays Minnesota, I can just pencil in a win because his coaching makes it so easy on us every time we play them.
All right. Iowa State at Oregon State. He's Pac-12 champion.
I'm taking the Oregon State Beavers in this matchup.
Oh, that's a good pick.
State, the quality Pac-12 team, and I think they're going to have a bright future ahead of them this year in a very, very competitive Pac-12. Let's go Beavers. They're beating the Cyclones in this matchup.
I think Iowa State because he took Oregon State.
That might be the best reason of the night right there. That's some quality stuff right there. Man,
Thank you.
4:30 p.m. That's 1:30 p.m. Western time, or the hell you call it, Pacific time. 2 time zones Iowa State has to cross. It's going to be a really weird game for them. A really weird opening game for Iowa State. Iowa State has more talent, but Oregon State is the best player on the court, and Tress Tinkle. Just one of the best players out there in America. I'm going to take Oregon State.
Yeah, I'm going to take Iowa State because Oregon State is terrible. They are awful.
No, they're middle. They're middle of the pack in the Pac-12.
Terrible.
No.
Iowa State. Okay. Oh boy. Texas at Purdue.
Oh, 2 of the best coaches in America right here.
All right, so I already know what Chris is going to pick. He's going to be picking Texas because he is a massive Purdue hater. But I'm going with the world issues in this matchup because talent wins out. And what Texas has? No talent. Texas can call them a football school, but they're only one. And their basketball team doesn't play on national television because they have to play on the Longhorn Network. Texas is an awful basketball school. I'm thinking the bottleneck of this one is talent wins out.
I think it's, I like Purdue as well. The Ryan Bidwell effect. He's 28 playing college basketball. Shout out to him.
Oh man, this is a must-watch game right here. This is a very weird matchup out of conference. You already know Purdue fans are already lining up at the arena to watch this game because they don't give a crap about football. And I love Texas and hook 'em. I love Texas. I really love what they're going to do. But boiler up, give me Purdue because it's at home, and I think Purdue slightly has the coaching advantage, but just barely. Matt Painter's a great coach. He should have won Coach of the Year last year for the job he did. So I'm going to take Purdue.
Yeah, I'm going to take Purdue as well in an absolute blowout. Texas is terrible. Shaka Smart's one of the worst coaches in the country. Give me Purdue.
Well, Shaka will have his team ready to go.
Yeah, right. All right, we got 5 games left. Florida State at Florida.
Give me them Gators. Guess what? Florida State is coming off a massive loss at Pitt, and they would have not handle this massive matchup in Gainesville. Giving them Gators, they're a top-ranked team. Let's go Florida. Count them out.
I think Florida. I think FSU will stumble a bit after beating Pitt.
Losing to Pitt,
and Florida isn't Florida also? Is Florida ranked?
Florida's number 6.
Okay. Yep. Then definitely Florida.
Yep. Florida State's had recent success over Florida. And I think Florida State has the athletes and the length to give Florida some issues. They have the athletes and the length to give any team issues. But they will give Florida some issues. Florida's going to win in a close one, but Leonard Hamilton, he's owned this rivalry. It'll be close. I got Florida winning, though.
It'll be a very close game. I'm going to take Florida, though. All right. As you can see, clearly the better coach here is shown.
Who is that?
UMass. I don't know. UMass Lowell at Ohio State.
Give me them Riverhawks. Ohio State will not just be coming out of the Merrimack River. UMass Lowell is one of the better teams in the American East. Sure, they had some stumbles last year when I think a main player shot 50 on them. But give me the Riverhawks at a massive Big Ten breaking upset.
I'm picking OSU not because I found out they're a good team a couple minutes ago, but because he picks UMass Lowell.
Well, UMass Lowell's a hockey school. So Ohio State's a hockey school too, because Ohio State is always in the Frozen Four. It seems like. Well, their fans don't really give a crap about hockey, but
in college hockey.
Chris, as you can see, the UMass Lowell coach, he's saying, So he's definitely saying Ohio. I'm definitely taking Ohio State. UMass Lowell's a hockey school. I'm taking Ohio State in a blowout.
This is going to be a close game. UMass Lowell is a really good team. They play in a great conference, the American East, but I'm going to take Ohio State.
Not as good as the Little East, though.
Another one you can see clearly the better coach is shown here.
Who is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Binghamton at Michigan State.
You see, this is a tough pick for me because I'm all about the American East or the better comp in the mid-majors, but I'm kind of confused with the MSU with their colors. But taking the Binghamton Bearcats this one, I'm going to take the Michigan State Spartans, mainly because Michigan State has better talent than Binghamton, but I think Binghamton could make a national championship run this season.
Good pick.
I think Binghamton should worry about beating UMaine before they should be worried about taking on Michigan State. So I'll take Michigan State.
Okay. Who's the more physical team? Binghamton's the more physical team. If they impose their will on Michigan State, Binghamton's going to have a shot because they have some big guys in the front, and they have some speedy guards in the back, and they can shoot a little bit, and they got a great coach. With that being said, I got Michigan State winning the basketball game, but I don't know a single player on Binghamton's roster. I'm just taking a wild guess about who they have. But this should be, this could creep into a Quadrant 3 win, and hopefully it does because you don't like those Quadrant 4 wins. So hopefully it's a Quadrant 3 win for Michigan State.
Yeah, Binghamton's a really, really good team. That said, I'm taking Michigan State by 60. Okay, last two games. Illinois at Arizona.
How about them Illini? Illinois Illini. All time, against Arizona. Honestly, I'm taking the Illini in this one, mainly because the talent wins out. Arizona is a rebuilding team in a garbage conference called the Pac-12. Illinois is a fledgling team that could very well win the Big Ten this season. Illinois is going to win this game, not only because of their talent, but also because of their coaching. Let's go Illini.
Although I don't want to sound repetitive, but although the Pac-12 is irrelevant, he picked Illinois, so I feel obligated to pick Arizona.
Yeah, this is a classic example. Illinois, the press, they play press Virginia type defense under Brad Underwood. It is a nightmare to play early in the year, especially for a young team like Arizona with young guards, Nico Mannion. They're gonna turn the ball over a bunch, and Illinois is a lot more experienced than they've been. I've got Illinois winning.
I'm taking Arizona because they're at home. All right, last game. DePaul at Iowa, first game of the Gavitt games.
Oh man, that's a great matchup. DePaul at Iowa. I'm picking the DePaul Blue Demons in this matchup. Iowa is not a basketball school. Anyway, it's a football school.
Oh, and DePaul's a real good basketball school.
DePaul is one of the rising teams in the Big East. I mean, they finished one across.
Yeah, Heath, there's only one way to go when you're the worst team in the Big East. That's up. I hope they be a rising team.
Because of the Chris Walker, I'm taking the ball in this matchup. Iowa can rebound in the end.
I'm going to use Chris's logic in this one. I'm going to take Iowa because Iowa's a Power 5 team and DePaul is not.
Okay, all right. The Big East is a Power 6 conference. That's ridiculous take.
The Power 9 conference, thank you.
My gosh. What kind of matchup is this?
American whack the West Coast Conference. And you cannot forget about the A-10.
Okay, Mike, what are you going to say?
Listen, this game is terrible. I will not be watching. No.
Oh.
But I do expect the Big Ten to go 10-0 in the Gavitt games, or whatever the hell how many teams they play, 8 or whatever. I'm taking Iowa to win.
I'm going to take Iowa because they're at home. I like what Fran McCaffrey's done with that program. Really good coach.
Well, we all know Fran McCaffrey's better than Dylan McCaffrey.
But I'm going to take Iowa in this game. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, Michigan sucks.
Okay, the usual. Anything relevant?
Michigan sucks.
What a great take, Mike. Honestly, Michigan is one of the most overrated teams I've ever seen.
Okay, that is going to do it.
Watch out for Oakland. They're another sleeper team.
A couple of announcements. We will be back Wednesday for the football podcast. We will not do it last week because Mike insisted we get a text this week. So we will skip next week's basketball podcast and just watch next week's basketball games and come back following week with the basketball podcast.
Yep. Oh, and hockey podcast tomorrow, folks.
Yep, that's right. And we'll be back with football on Wednesday. So that's going to be it. Thank you for watching.